Joining us now on the MARR Army Rock Show, I'm super excited to have Mark Evans from Heaven's Edge here with us. He's going to be sailing aboard the Monster of the Rock cruise with us in less than 3 weeks now. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on. I still can't believe it's only 3 weeks away. Can't wait.
Oh, I know. Yeah, man, I'm starting to pack. Have you started packing yet?
No. I actually still have to get my summer stuff out. My wife's like, oh, I've got to find a bathing suit. And we're going to cram a whole lot of stuff into 3 weeks, along with rehearsing.
So, man, I'm really excited to have you on the show, man. This is a band. When I researched the year you started, I knew you'd been around, but 27 years, man. I had no idea you had been a band for 27 years. So, first question I just kind of want to ask you, can you give us a little bit, you and Reggie have been together that whole time. Tell me a little bit about the formation of your band. Like, how did that come together, you and Reggie?
Well, strangely enough, I was playing in a band that was a big cover band in the area back then called Network, and had been with them for a few years, and that's what I did for a living. We played 5 nights a week, and that was how I made my living. And Reggie was working, not working, he was playing in the original band. He was in White Fox at the time. And I didn't know it, but he used to come out along with Sven, who was one of our, guitar techs once Heaven's Edge got together. They would come out and see Network all the time, and him and Sven had actually like, oh, if I could put a band together, I'd love to put a band together with Mark. But he never said anything to me about it. And Jeannie, who's my wife, we've been together over 30 years now, Reggie had run into her and had said, do you think Mark would ever want to, maybe write some songs with me? She's like, I'll ask. So she actually, came and asked me. I called him up, and him and I got together, and things clicked right away. We started writing, and everything clicked. And within a few weeks, I actually went back to my band Network, and I said, I just want to let you know I'm leaving. And what do you mean? I said, well, I started writing with, this guy Reggie, and we're going to put an original band together, and that's what I'm going to do. And they were like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, I think I was probably making like $800,000 a week, and that's all I had to do. I was just a musician. I could sleep late, and if leaving the band meant I was going to have to get up and get a day job because you don't make money playing at the Galaxy or the Empire or anything. And, and that's what I did. And, they thought I was crazy too because we didn't even have a band. It was just the two of us. We hadn't even auditioned anybody. We were still writing. And, but then, started holding auditions, found Steve, Dave, and George. Everything clicked real well with them. And we came out and kind of hit the ground running from there. And luckily the scene was so hot back then, with Cinderella just taking off, Britney Fox just taking off. And there's so many great places to play with the Galaxy and the Empire and the Trocadero and Bonnie's. And the whole scene was great. So it helped. It's not like it is today. You can't, if people that are, playing at, a place like Dobbs is, one of the few original, for the type of music that we do, that still does that. The other original clubs in the area don't play bands like what we are. So, but back then the scene was it was a whole different thing. A lot of fun.
So man, fast forward like 26 years later, and you find yourself playing at the M3 Festival, and we were right there front row for that. Tell me about what was going in your mind, like that, go through your mind that many layers to show up and see this legion of fans of that era of music. Tell us about the M3 experience.
That was amazing because I didn't realize that people remembered who we even were. I'd walked away from music. I'm trying to think, like in 92 or 93. I had kids, and I was just like, I've just got to get serious about life. And my heart had pretty much been ripped out from losing what we had with the record deal and everything that went into that. So I just stepped away, and I guess it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago I started playing again. But really, it wasn't original stuff, and I was not thinking about, Heaven's Edge should do anything. And 2 years before we played at M3, my wife and I, Jeannie and I, had gone down to M3, and we were getting stopped constantly by people just going, I need a picture. I was texting Reggie. I'm like, Rich, Dave, guys, we have to play down here. I can't believe people actually know who we are. And that's what kind of got the ball rolling. And then had met Eric, the guy that runs M3, and he was like, I'd love to have you guys here. So, fast forward to last year, when we got to play there, seeing the crowd reaction, the fact that playing at, whatever it was, 12 o'clock, it was the first band on, and to have that amount of people that, were just that enthusiastic just blew us away. And I would have never thought, I literally in a million years would have never thought that we'd be doing any of the stuff that we're doing right now.
So, man, if you thought M3 was a good deal, hold on to your hat, because you're about to set sail on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and a lot of those very same people are going to be on the cruise, man. These are diehard fans of that era of music. So, what are you most excited about for the cruise?
A couple of things. Getting to play in front of people that are that passionate about the music again is going to be great, and seeing different people, because we've seen the people at M3 and then when we played in Philly at the World Cafe live show. But it amazes me because you'll have people on things like this because they're such a special event. You have people that are from all over the world, that'll come up and just be like, I came from here, I came from there, and they come up with all this odd memorabilia, things you never even knew existed about the band. So that part is going to be great, and playing the shows is going to be awesome. I'm going to be doing a solo acoustic show with Mike Tran from White Lion and Babylon AD on one of the islands on Tuesday during the cruise, which will be, my best way to put it is I'm getting to cross things off my bucket list, but I never knew were on them. It's because I never thought that.
On that show with you, by the way, we'll be on that private island with you. I can't wait for that show.
Oh, awesome. That's going to be fun. But the other thing that's so cool with this is that the lineup that they have, so many of those bands, I'm also a huge fan of. So I'm going to get to hang out with all these people that I've been a fan of for years. And, which is going to be a huge treat also. Because even though I've met some of these guys over the years, but to actually be able to, sit down, have a conversation and talk and spend some time, because we're going to be together quite a bit, is going to be a very huge treat, because I'm a huge fan of so many of the bands that are going to be on the cruise.
Now, a lot of people are going to want to know the answer to this question about you. I kind of know the answer, but for the benefit of our fans, tell us about what kind of music you're writing these days, and is there hope for a new Heaven's Edge album, or is it going to be a Mark Evans album?
Well, I'm writing with Reggie, and we're working on trying to. It's tough schedule-wise to be as productive as we were back when we were younger, because we were on a very, very set schedule. And when we first started writing, I didn't have any children. Reggie had already had his daughter, but we'd get together at his house once a week and write, and it was a definite schedule, to fit into, we rehearsed these nights, we wrote these nights, and it's hard to do that now, but we are writing, and now in technology and emailing files back and forth. Him and I are working on doing that. How long it's going to be before we can get a new record out, I don't know, but we are currently working on it. I'm also writing with a good friend of mine, John Dennis, and him and I are, writing stuff. The stuff that him and I are writing doesn't sound like Heaven's Edge stuff. The Heaven's Edge stuff is starting to, when we initially started, it's kind of hard to get back into that mode, but the stuff that Reggie and I are writing now is starting to sound more like the older Heaven's Edge stuff. And so there could be two new things coming on, coming out in the future. But the Heaven's Edge thing is definitely something that we're working hard at trying to get some new material. Not that a ton of people, like when people come to the shows, I know, you go and I just want to hear these songs, but it would be nice to be able to, get a few new ones out there, which I would expect we should have at least a couple of new ones to play live, not on the cruise, but when we do the show at the TLA next November. That I guarantee there will be at least one or two new ones for that, and hopefully we'll be closer to finishing a record.
Man, I've seen your acoustic act with John, and it's just amazing. In fact, the one song I've talked to you about it before that I just love is the Heaven in Your Heart song, and it's just a beautiful song. I think people are really going to love what they hear from your acoustic stuff on that island, man. So kudos to you for writing those killer tunes still.
Thank you very much. It's great. It's great. I walked away from music and I had no interest, and now getting back into it, getting that side of my brain working again and everything is a wonderful thing. It feels great.
So after all these years, like when you guys were writing, like the song, like I mean, people want if they're gonna point to one song that they just love, it's got to be Find Another Way. And like when you guys were writing that song, did you have any idea like how crazy that was gonna go worldwide?
No, we knew we had a good song because it's one of the songs that if I were to play you the original demo that Reggie and I had written on this little 4-track cassette recorder thing that we would use, we each had one. You would take and flip the tape over to try and get more tracks in it. It sounds almost identical to, only much less quality, but the arrangement, everything stayed just the way that it was. And we knew when we had done the song, we were like, wow, I really like this song. There are certain songs that when you finish writing them that you're just kind of like, it's okay. Maybe when the band starts playing it, everything will click. But that song, even with just the little drum machine thing that we used and everything, it clicked and it worked. And, but I would have no idea that all these years later that we could play it at M3 in front of those thousands of people, or play it at or even more shocking, going over to England a couple of years ago and when I did the acoustic thing in Greece and having these people sing every word to the song. It just gives you goosebumps. I mean, actually, when it happens, me being as surprised as I am that all this is actually happening again, I actually get choked up. I'm just blown away that people are that into it and remember it that fondly. And it's an amazing experience because the guys that have been able to continue doing it for all these years, I hope that they all appreciate the blessing that it is.
Well, man, I'm so excited that you're going to be on the cruise. And I got to be honest, like, from your era, two of my favorite vocalists on there are you and Danny from Taiketo, man, both going to be on that ship. You guys both still really have the pipes, and I'm just so excited to see you. So, Mark Evans, thank you for being here, man, and we can't wait to see you on the boat in a couple weeks. Thanks for being here on the show.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys again in a few weeks, and it's going to be great. We'll have a drink on the island together.